Hello and welcome. This is the Streaming Advisor, and we are bringing you a new video about the Amazon Fire TV. What we're going to show you in this video is a hidden feature that's pretty much hidden in plain sight. There is a tab for it that you can see, but Amazon doesn't really come right out and explain how all of this works. But what we're talking about is the live guide on the Amazon Fire TV. And boy, can you do a lot with this feature. So we're going to show you what it is that you need to do to set this up and really get something out of it. So what you're going to do, if you have a Fire TV, if you have a Fire TV stick, if you have a Fire TV with this built in, you're going to go into the settings, and it pulls up this nice big settings menu for you. And you're going to go down to where it says Live TV. You're going to press OK, and this is going to open up this menu here. And right now, the most important things you can do in this menu is access the Manage Channels section and the Sync Sources section. There are a number of different things that can be put into the Live TV channel guide, and it keeps growing. It did not used to include everything you see here, but Pluto TV, Zumo, Tubi, Plex, these are all apps that have some form of live TV streaming built into their apps. So we're going to Pluto TV here, and we have added Pluto TV's channels. We're going to sync with Zumo. And again, just tell it to sync, put down that remote, grab yourself something to sip on for a second, and let it add channels. If you haven't seen Pluto TV and Zumo, what you'll see, with those channels that are adding in right there, there are lots of streaming channels that are available just via the internet. It's just as simple as that. I mean, they're all different websites, different production companies that have options there. Sling TV, of course, is a paid service, which this means is that it's going to add the channels that I get from Sling TV into a universal guide. If you don't have Sling TV, that's okay. You don't have to add it, but it also communicates this service with Hulu with live TV. It'll communicate, I believe, with YouTube's TV service. And right now, I believe that is all that it works with. But keep checking, because there are other live TV services like Fubo TV and others that hopefully we will one day see streaming right through this. But for those of you who have something like Friendly or something else, this is not an option yet. So we'll let that do its job. You just want to make sure that you let these things have enough time to actually add. You see the little blue line going up. So now we have synced this with Sling TV. And you see, you do that with all of these sources. Everything is actually in place right now. I just wanted you to see the menu where you put these things together. So from here, we can hop out and go into the managed channels. And here you have a chance to do something really cool, which is you can go through all of these different channels, and you see there's hundreds of them, and you can choose favorites. And by choosing favorites, you can set up a little list, a universal list from all of these different services that will allow you to jump right in to whatever it is that you want to watch the most. So that means that even though you have maybe 100 channels with Sling TV, you can find the 5 or 6 that you want to go to immediately, whether that's your local TV channels or sports channels. And all you have to do is just press the little button in the middle, that main selector button. You can choose to hide it. You can even choose to list these channels alphabetically so that you know exactly where to find stuff. Like, ESPN will be after Discovery. put it in alphabetical order. But otherwise, you can go through and it sort of has things organized by its grouping. Like you see, this is like the premium movies. We're adding some Showtime, little stars. And we'll just go through and add some just basic things so that you can see what a favorites lineup can look like. This is neither an endorsement or a disparaging thing to say about any of the TV channels that I am adding or not adding. But there's no point in making a favorites list with 200 channels in it, right? And it's no more favorites than anything else. We'll hop into IMDb TV. IMDb TV is an Amazon-owned group there. Started off as just on demand, and like others, they now have their own little list of streaming things. We'll add a couple of game show stuff. Buzzer's a great retro game channel. Tastemade's another free one out there that has all kinds of cool home stuff. Now you'll notice Pluto TV has 51 channels listed. That is not everything that you can get out of Pluto TV. There's a couple of hundred really. But for the purposes of this Amazon contracted thing, apparently they are not going to give Pluto TV the full run of things. Plex has contracts with some interesting sources like Crackle and Popcorn Flicks. Popcorn Flicks and Crackle is actually part of the same company now. It's called Crackle Plus. We'll add retro and see if there's anything funny we want to add. How about the America's Funniest Videos? Alright. We're just going to add a couple more things. A little financial news. Got Fubo Sports. Fubo Sports is one that's not actually available on everything, so it's good to have Tubi in there as an option to add Fubo Sports. And we'll add a couple of specific Zumo channels. Alright. So now that that's all in place, we can take a look at the live TV guide and we'll sort of show you what's going on here. So in order to get to it, you just click on that live tab and you see right now it's in Pluto TV because that's the last thing we were watching. But you see what they've done here is, see, this is Pluto TV's programming and it's all lined up with a normal guide. You can go to the filter channels and choose the specific things that you want to take a look at. And you can also flip through, just like you can on a normal TV cable guide, and see everything. But you see, now we're looking at the favorite channels. You filter through your favorite channels, and this means, you can come home from work, come home from the road, wherever you want, and jump in and see what's in your favorite group. You can also filter so that you can go specifically to something like Pluto TV or IMDb TV, and you can see everything there. But you see, there are hundreds. It said there were 409 channels overall that you have available. Of course, if you don't pay for Sling TV, you're not going to have any of the Sling TV stuff available. This is not rocket science here. But, once you're in, you can still add. You don't have to wait, and you don't have to only add favorites within the big menu. If you're going through and you say, oh, Fox Business, I'd really like to get back to that later, you can add them. But this is a really, really cool setup. This is the kind of thing that I consider this the future of TV. The executives out there that I talk to, they say, there's going to be stuff over the air, there's going to be stuff that's going to be internet-based, there's going to be next-gen TV, but when it all comes down to it, people just want to watch TV. And even though with streaming, you've got all of these options to, add your on-demand stuff like Netflix or Hulu or, Amazon Prime and so on and so forth, There is always going to be a market for just sitting down, flipping through a channel guide, and seeing what's on. With Fire TV, you'll have even more options. In fact, if you have one of those TVs that has Fire TV built in, like the Element TVs or something like that, what you can actually do is work your over-the-air TV channels right into this same guide. So that's really cool. So anything that you've got, if you can get it with an antenna and it's hooked up to your TV, you can roll that right into this guide. Even for people who don't have that, if you want to make an investment in something like that Fire TV Recast, you can even integrate your local TV channels that way. Unfortunately, at the moment, they don't seem to have any support for things like specifically the Air TV tuner on its own, Tableau, or any of the other over-the-air tuners. Hopefully we'll see that come along at some point. Right now, I think they're still trying to push their own system. What we're showing you here is the Prime TV channels. These are in the Amazon Prime app. And the thing is that if you subscribe to the if you subscribe to a channel through Amazon Prime channels and it has a live feature, it will often be integrated into this live guide. One of the best examples is like the premium movie channels like Epix and Showtime and things like that. You can drop that into place and it will be right there along with Pluto TV and everything else. So you can just jump in there, sign up for Showtime. Even if you don't have Sling TV or anything like that, you can sign up for premium movie channels on their own. Just be billed straight through Amazon like everything else. There is a lot to work with here. So if you're looking for something simple, I know it might seem complicated at the start with all the menus and the flipping through, but this for cord cutters is a really great way to set up something that feels like the traditional old-fashioned TV. I think that if you were to set somebody up that maybe you're one of those people who says, well, I'm not real technical, so blah, blah, blah. If you hook up something like this, you get a Fire TV, you go in, you find out what they like, you set it up, just say, go to the guide, and there's where you're going to have everything. It makes it pretty easy, because it just says live. That's pretty self-explanatory. Live. So, I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please subscribe and share this video with your friends. As always, I am Ryan Downey, the streaming advisor. Stream on, my friends.